I don't stand here as someone strong tonight. I stand here as someone honest, someone who has tried to hold it together, but couldn't anymore. I'm crying for you not because I'm weak, but because you matter more than my pride, because loving you changed the way my heart beats, the way silence sounds, the way nights feel when you're not beside me. If you can hear the tremble in my voice, it's because this is real. No rehearsed lines, no masks, just a heart that refuses to let go. Please don't leave, not when my soul still reaches for yours, not when every part of me is still choosing you, even through the tears. I am not crying because I want to trap you here. I am crying because loving you has stripped me of every shield I ever built. I don't know how to pretend anymore. I don't know how to stand tall when my heart is on its knees, asking for you to stay. These tears are not a performance. They are not a strategy. They are the truth leaking out of me because I held it in for too long. I told myself I could survive anything, that I could lose things and keep moving forward, that I was strong enough to walk alone. But then you happened, and strength stopped meaning silence. Strength started meaning honesty, even when my voice shakes, even when my eyes burn, even when I'm terrified of what you might decide. I am crying for you because you matter in a way I never expected another human being to matter to me. You didn't just enter my life, you rearranged it. You changed how I see mornings, how I hear music, how I sit with my own thoughts. You made the quiet feel safe instead of empty. And now the idea of that quiet without you feels unbearable, like standing in a room where all the air has been taken out. I don't want to dramatize this, but I won't minimize it either. Losing you wouldn't be just losing a person. It would be losing the version of myself that learned how to love without armor. I know you might be tired. I know you might be confused. I know you might be standing at the edge of a choice that feels heavy and complicated. I'm not blind to that. I see the weight on your shoulders, the questions in your eyes, the pauses in your words. I'm not asking you to stay because it's easy. I'm asking you to stay because what we have is real, and real things are worth fighting for. Even when fighting looks like standing still and refusing to walk away. I am not perfect. I never claimed to be. I carry flaws, fears, and scars that didn't disappear when I met you. But I also carry a love that is steady, patient, and willing to grow. When I say I am crying for you, I mean that I am allowing you to see me without the distance I usually keep. I am letting you see the part of me that doesn't always know the right words, that sometimes just feels and hopes that feeling is enough. I don't cry easily. I was taught to hold things in, to survive quietly, to handle pain alone. But this is different. This is me choosing connection over control. This is me choosing you over my own defenses. These tears are not asking for pity. They are asking for understanding. Please don't leave as if what we shared was temporary. Please don't walk away like my presence was something you could replace without consequence. I am not saying you owe me anything. Love doesn't work like that. But I am saying that what we build together deserves more than a silent exit. It deserves a pause. It deserves a breath. It deserves a moment where we both look at each other and remember why we started, why we stayed, why we felt safe enough to open up in the first place. I think about the small moments more than the big ones. The way your expression softens when you laugh for real. The way time slows down when we sit together without needing to fill the space. The way your presence feels familiar, like something my soul recognized before my mind caught up. Those moments don't scream, they whisper. And whispers are easy to ignore when the world gets loud. But they are also the most honest things we have. I am crying because I don't want those whispers to disappear into memory. I am scared, and I won't pretend otherwise. I am scared of waking up and realizing you are no longer part of my days. I am scared of becoming strong again in the way that means alone. I don't want to go back to that version of myself who convinced himself that needing someone was a weakness. You taught me that needing someone can be a form of courage. That opening your heart, knowing it could be hurt, is one of the bravest things a person can do if you stay. I am not promising perfection. I am promising effort. I am promising honesty even when it's uncomfortable. I am promising to listen, not just to respond, but to understand. I am promising to grow, to learn, to face my shadows instead of letting them control me. I am promising a love that doesn't disappear when things get heavy. A love that doesn't run when silence stretches. A love that chooses presence over escape. I am crying for you because I believe in what we could still become. I believe in the space between us that hasn't been explored yet. I believe in the healing that can happen when two imperfect people decide not to give up on each other too quickly. I am not asking you to ignore your feelings. I am asking you to include mine in the picture. To see that behind these tears is not desperation, but devotion. Not fear alone, but hope fighting to stay alive. Please don't leave while my heart is still speaking. Please don't leave while there are words unsaid, moments unfinished, love still unfolding. I am here, exactly as I am. Not hiding, not pretending, not demanding. Just standing in front of you with a heart that chose you and is still choosing you. Even now, even like this, even while my voice breaks, even while my hands tremble, even while these tears fall and I try to hold myself together long enough for you to see that this love is not loud, not dramatic, not fleeting, but deep, steady, and real. And all I'm asking in this moment is that you stay long enough to feel it too, long enough to remember, long enough to let this love breathe, long enough to let us try, long enough to not turn away while my soul is still reaching for yours, still believing, still hoping, still holding on while everything inside me is saying your name in the quiet, in the ache, in the space where I am crying for you, not to pull you back by force, but to let you know that my heart is here, open, unguarded, and waiting, still standing in front of you with nothing but truth, nothing but love, nothing but the courage to say that without you, something essential in me would go silent. And I am trying to hold that silence back by speaking now, by crying now, by letting you see me now, before the distance becomes permanent, before the door closes, before this moment slips away into something we both regret remembering, instead of living love you without conditions that need to be negotiated every time things get hard. Not the kind of love that keeps score or waits for the perfect version of you to appear. I love you as you are, in the moments you are certain, and in the moments you doubt yourself. That love didn't arrive all at once. It grew quietly, through patience, through choosing you even on days when it would have been easier to pull back. Unconditional love isn't loud or dramatic. It's steady. It stays when there is nothing to gain except the presence of the person you care about. I don't love you because you make everything easy. I love you because you are real. Because you challenge me to be honest instead of comfortable. Because you see parts of me I didn't know how to explain, and you stayed anyway. My love doesn't disappear when we disagree, or when silence fills the space between us. It doesn't fade when you're tired, distant, or unsure. It remains not because it has to, but because it chooses to. That choice is made every day, quietly, without asking for applause. Unconditional love means I don't hold your past against you. I don't measure your worth by your mistakes or your fears. I see your flaws clearly, and I don't love you despite them. I love you with them. I understand that you are human, that you carry your own weight, your own history, your own wounds. My love doesn't demand that you be healed before you are worthy of care. It meets you where you are and walks with you at your pace. I don't love you for what you give me. I love you for who you are, when no one is watching, for the way you exist in the world, for the way your presence changes the air around me. Even when you pull away, even when you question everything, my love doesn't turn into resentment. It becomes quieter, more patient, waiting for the moment when you are ready to be seen again. That waiting is not weakness. It's respect. This love doesn't try to own you. It doesn't cage you or limit you. It wants you to be free, even if that freedom scares me. Loving you unconditionally means I care about your happiness, not just my comfort. It means I don't ask you to shrink yourself to keep me safe. I ask only that you be honest, because, honesty is the only ground unconditional love can stand on. I don't stop loving you when you don't have answers. I don't withdraw when you are confused or uncertain. My love doesn't punish you for being human. It doesn't disappear when you struggle to show up the way you want to. It understands that love is not a performance. It's presence. And presence doesn't require perfection. Sometimes unconditional love is quiet pain. It's wanting to protect someone even when you can't fix what they're facing. It's caring without control. It's holding space without demanding certainty. I carry that pain willingly because loving you has never felt like a burden. Even when it hurts, it feels meaningful. It feels true. I don't love you only when you choose me. I love you even when you hesitate, even when you question us. That doesn't mean I don't feel the ache. It means the ache doesn't erase the love. My feelings don't switch off just because the situation becomes uncertain. They remain grounded in something deeper than circumstance. This love doesn't keep a list of reasons to leave. It keeps reasons to stay. It remembers the moments that built us, the trust that formed slowly, the connection that didn't need constant reassurance to exist. It remembers how it felt to feel understood without explanation. That memory doesn't disappear when things get heavy. I love you without condition, because I see you as someone worth loving fully, not temporarily, not cautiously, fully. And loving you this way has changed me. It has softened parts of me that were rigid. It has taught me patience where I used to rush. It has taught me courage where I used to hide. This love doesn't ask you to be anything other than yourself. It simply asks you to stay present long enough to feel it long enough, to understand that it isn't fragile. It isn't fleeting, it is dependent on perfect timing or perfect circumstances. Unconditional love is choosing you even when the outcome is uncertain, even when the future feels unclear, even when fear exists. It is saying that what we have matters now, in this moment, without guarantees. And that choice, made honestly and without demand, is the truest form of love. I know, the kind that doesn't disappear when tested, the kind that remains steady, even when everything else feels unstable, the kind that continues quietly, deeply, faithfully, without asking for anything in return except the chance to exist as it is, real and present and alive between us. I love you in a way that doesn't look for escape routes, not when things feel uncertain, not when emotions get complicated, not when the future refuses to explain itself. This love doesn't ask what it will receive in return before it decides to stay. It exists first, and only then does it ask how to protect what it cares about. I didn't choose you because it was convenient or safe. I chose you because something in me recognized something in you. And once that recognition happened, there was no version of love left in me that knew how to be conditional. Unconditional love means I don't measure you by your best days alone. I love you on the days you doubt yourself, on the days you pull inward, on the days when words don't come easily. I don't withdraw affection when you struggle to give clarity. I don't turn cold when you need time. My love doesn't punish you for being human. It stays present, even when presence feels difficult, because love that disappears under pressure was never really love to begin with. I don't love you for how you make me feel when everything is perfect. I love you for how real everything becomes when it isn't. When the masks fall away, when the certainty fades, when all that's left is two people trying to understand each other without guarantees. My love doesn't demand that you arrive whole and fearless. It understands that people grow in stages, that healing isn't linear, that some days you carry more weight than others. I don't step away when I see that weight. I stand closer. This love doesn't keep conditions hidden in silence. It doesn't say stay only if you never change, only if you never struggle, only if you never hurt me. Change is inevitable. Struggle is human. Pain happens, even when intentions are pure. I don't love you under the illusion that none of that will exist. I love you knowing it will, and choosing you anyway. That choice is quiet, but it is constant. Unconditional love means I don't compare you to an idealized version of who you could be. I don't wait for you to become easier, calmer, stronger, or more certain to deserve my care. You don't need to earn my love by being perfect. You don't need to perform stability to keep me here. I see you as you are now, not as a project, not as a promise, but as a person who already matters. I don't love you because you always choose me the right way. I love you even when your choices are clouded by fear or doubt. That doesn't mean I don't feel the ache of uncertainty. It means the ache doesn't cancel the love. My heart doesn't shut down because things get unclear. It stays open. Even when that openness costs me comfort, this love doesn't try to control the outcome. It doesn't threaten to leave to be heard. It doesn't use silence as leverage. It doesn't keep one foot out the door to feel powerful. It stays grounded in respect. Respect for your autonomy. Respect for your process. Respect for the fact that love given freely has more weight than love demanded. Unconditional love also means I don't disappear into myself when I'm hurt. I don't turn distance into a weapon. I speak when it's hard. I stay when it would be easier to shut down. I choose connection over protection, even though protection feels safer. I don't love you in a way that avoids risk. I love you in a way that accepts it. I don't love you only when you are sure about us. I love you while you are still figuring things out, while questions exist, while fear whispers alternatives. My love doesn't rush you, but it doesn't pretend. It doesn't exist either. It remains visible, honest, steady, because disappearing would be easier than staying vulnerable. And this love was never built on ease. Unconditional love is not blind devotion. It sees clearly and stays anyway. It knows your flaws and doesn't use them as reasons to walk away. It understands your defenses and doesn't try to tear them down aggressively. It waits until trust invites closeness. It believes that love grows best when it isn't forced into shape. I love you in a way that doesn't expire when circumstances change. Not when timing feels off. Not when life becomes complicated. Not when emotions get messy. This love is not attached to perfect alignment. It's attached to truth. And the truth is that you matter to me in a way that doesn't require constant reassurance to exist, even if the future feels uncertain, even if tomorrow doesn't offer clarity, even if fear stands between us, my love. But it doesn't retreat. It remains present in this moment, choosing you without contracts or conditions, holding space instead of expectations, offering itself fully without knowing how it will be received, continuing quietly and honestly, grounded in something deeper than control, deeper than outcome. deeper than fear. Something steady and real that doesn't disappear just because the path ahead isn't clear, something that stays because it is true, because it was never dependent on guarantees, because loving you this way feels like the most honest thing I have ever done. And honesty is the one thing I refuse to take back. There is a strength in me that doesn't announce itself. It doesn't raise its voice or demand to be seen. It lives quietly behind my tears, steady and unmoving, even when everything inside me feels like it's breaking apart. I've learned how to stand still while storms pass through me. I've learned how to breathe through pain without letting it harden me. When you see me cry, you might think that I'm falling apart, but what you're really seeing is the part of me that refuses to disappear. The part that stays present instead of running away. I don't cry because I'm incapable of holding myself together. I cry because holding everything inside has a cost, and I'm no longer willing to pay it in silence. There's a difference between weakness and honesty, and I chose honesty. My tears don't mean I've given up. They mean I'm still here, still feeling, still choosing to see when it would be easier to shut down. There is strength in allowing yourself to feel pain without letting that pain turn into bitterness. I've spent most of my life learning how to be composed, how to keep my voice steady, how to look calm even when something inside me is unraveling. I learned early that the world respects quiet endurance more than visible emotion. So I became good at surviving quietly, good at carrying weight without showing strain. But loving you changed that. Loving you made it impossible to pretend that everything is manageable all the time. It brought me to a place where strength stopped meaning silence and started meaning truth. Behind every tear is a choice. The choice to stay open instead of closing off. The choice to remain gentle instead of becoming guarded. I could have protected myself by pulling away, by pretending I didn't care as deeply as I do. That would have looked like strength from the outside. But real strength isn't about appearances. It's about integrity. And my integrity wouldn't allow me to deny what you mean to me just to look composed. When I cry, I'm not asking to be rescued. I'm not asking you to fix me. I'm showing you that I trust you enough to be seen in a moment where I don't have all the answers. That trust didn't come easily. It was built slowly, through consistency, through moments where you stayed instead of leaving, listened instead of dismissing, understood instead of judging. My tears are not a collapse. They are an offering of truth. There is a quiet resilience in choosing to love while vulnerable, in choosing not to armor yourself even after you've been hurt. I know how to protect my heart. I know how to retreat into myself and become untouchable. I've done it before, but I also know what that kind of strength costs. It costs connection. It costs intimacy. It costs the possibility of being truly known. So I stand here with tears instead of walls. Because walls may keep pain out, but they also keep love away. The strength behind my tears is the strength to remain kind when fear whispers reasons to harden. It's the strength to keep my heart soft in a world that rewards emotional distance. I don't cry to manipulate or to hold you here against your will. I cry because I believe that real love deserves honesty, even when honesty is uncomfortable. Even when it reveals how deeply something matters, I carry my pain carefully. I don't throw it at you. I don't use it to blame or accuse. I let it exist without turning it into a weapon. That restraint is not accidental. It comes from understanding that love is not proven by how much you suffer, but by how responsibly you carry that suffering. My tears don't demand anything from you. They simply tell the truth about what is happening inside me. There are nights when I sit with my emotions alone, letting them move through me quietly so they don't spill out in ways I might regret. I don't avoid the pain. I sit with it. I let it teach me. I let it soften me instead of shaping me into someone closed and distant. That kind of emotional discipline doesn't look dramatic, but it takes strength. It takes patience to feel deeply without losing yourself. I don't cry because I don't believe in myself. I cry because I believe in us. Because I believe that what we have is real enough to be honest about, fragile enough to protect, strong enough to face truth without pretending. There is courage in standing in front of someone you love and allowing them to see that they have the power to hurt you. Most people hide from that reality. I don't. I acknowledge it because acknowledging risk is part of living fully. Behind my tears is the strength to not run when things become uncertain. To stay present instead of disappearing. To talk instead of shutting down. I could choose distance. I could choose silence. I could choose pride. But I choose connection, even though connection requires vulnerability, and vulnerability makes tears possible. That choice is not weakness. It's commitment to authenticity. I know how to survive loss. I've done it before. I know how to rebuild myself from quiet ruins. I know how to carry absence and still move forward. The fact that I cry doesn't mean I don't know how to endure. It means I don't want endurance to be my only option. I want presence. I want honesty. I want to give this moment the respect it deserves instead of pretending it doesn't affect me. There is a steadiness underneath this emotion that won't disappear just because I'm hurting. I'm not unraveling. I'm processing. I'm allowing myself to feel now so I don't become someone numb later. I've learned that unexpressed pain doesn't vanish. It waits. It turns into distance. I refuse to let that happen here. My tears don't erase my strength. They coexist with it. I can be emotional and grounded at the same time. I can be vulnerable and resilient. Those things are not opposites. They are partners. The strongest people I know are not the ones who never cry. They are the ones who cry and still show up, still care, still love without becoming smaller. When you look at me like this, don't see someone breaking. See someone choosing honesty over comfort. See someone trusting you with something fragile. See someone who understands that love is not proven by stoicism but by presence. I am here, fully, not hiding behind composure, not retreating into silence, not pretending this doesn't matter. The strength behind my tears is also the strength to let go, if I must, without turning love into resentment. I don't cry to bind you. I cry because this moment is real, because feelings deserve space, because pretending indifference would be a lie. No matter what happens next, I want to know that I stood in my truth instead of shrinking from it. I have learned that emotions don't weaken resolve. They clarify it. These tears are showing me what matters. They are pointing me toward what is real. They are reminding me that caring deeply is not only thing to be ashamed of. It's something to be protected. So if you see me cry, don't mistake it for instability. It is the sound of something strong refusing to go numb. It is the evidence of a heart that still believes connection is worth the risk. It is quiet strength choosing to stay human in a world that often rewards emotional distance, choosing to remain open even when the outcome is uncertain, choosing to feel instead of freeze, choosing truth instead of control, choosing love, even while carrying the weight of tears that fall not because I am weak, but because I am strong enough to let them fall, while remaining fully present, fully grounded, fully myself, holding everything together not by force, but by honesty, by patience, by the quiet resilience that lies beneath the surface and continues to hold me steady, even as my eyes fill, even as my voice softens, even as emotion moves through me without destroying what I am, without undoing the core of me that remains solid, calm, and unwavering beneath every tear that speaks what words alone never could.